have a little more experience, not the best of records at 3 and 5, but 95 rounds for, 99 rounds against for a -4 round differential.
Well, and I also think their last two were like stompings of teams like Team, if I recall, the only times he played in the last 3 months. And again, he was Bad News Bears' perma for as long as you can remember. So this is a big change, a big departure. Maybe they just bet that GODSENT wouldn't pick it, but we'll see how it goes. Phelps already gets first blood here. GODSENT have been phenomenal on these missiles. There's no denying that. Swisher's going to get aggressive by the fence. This could be interesting. There's 2 players back in the site. Flashbang's good, but they spot him, and Lotto comes in to help out his teammate Barton. Get out in the open, but here we go. They've got again these entries, and they're ripping heads. It's not looking good. It's all on to Peter. He's back to the corner. They know exactly where he is. And Lotto, who else will line it up? 3 kills for the man. Nice little bit of pistol work. And GODSENT take yet another pistol round.
They're so good on these pistols, Mike. It's unbelievable. And then you're looking at the previous map just to talk about those stats and kind of build upon that story about Lotto. Lotto, 23 and 10, had the highest kill to death differential on his squad at +13 and an ADR of 89.4, which is good for second place, right behind Phelps, who was the star for them at 26 and 18 and a 94.9 ADR. But in terms of impact and rating, it was Lotto at 1.57.
Speaking of Lotto, I am here in the dark. Just in the dark, trying to maintain some coolness. Speaking of Lotto, nice kill coming through. Oh, let's see. What are the Bad News Bears actually trying to do here? 2 players towards either site. They're just kind of splitting it and hoping for the best. And I'll be honest with them. Be that optimistic. Oh, here's the check. Chezpuf takes the bolt to the dome. Lucky to survive here. Trying to follow that up, and he'll actually get blinded up. Good flashbang from Spongy sets up the kill. This is pretty spread from GODSENT too, but it seems like they want to move back towards those B stairs, despite the fact that they've seen presence there. A lot of this probably has to do with Dumal's lurking towards mid, and he's gonna find a player. There's gonna be a catch for Dumal. That's the first player found, and now they're hitting on towards the site. What can Spongy do? Not much. Round is probably over, and definitely over now.
Yeah, so this is kind of the concern, right, for the Bad News Bears is getting off to a good start on Vertigo because you haven't really played it too much and they're not doing that. GODSENT kind of walking all over them, which, of course, to be expected. I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Obviously, we're only 2 rounds in, but I'm hoping to see something.
Doom and gloom
No,
here,
no, no.
John.
I'm not trying to be.
In.
I'm not trying to be. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm hoping we're going to see something new from the Bad News Bears here on Vertigo with Jake in the roster. We talked about it. You know, he's obviously got something in mind if they're not banning Vertigo right off the bat.
One down. This aggressive ramp push not working out so well. And yeah, nothing doing here. They entered the blender. They got blended. Chezpuf last live. Sometimes you just got to try something with default pistols, but they're not going to have a lot of success here. 5 players make it through another round here for GODSENT. 4 of them have yet to die. Taco is the only player who's died yet on this map, and we're 3 rounds in. So that is a lot of money. A lot of money early on for GODSENT. Talk about a bonus round. They've got like bonus 2 rounds if they need them here. Oh yeah. Roger's really enjoying the fact that I'm turning my light off in between cam sessions. Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Rob. Always the most helpful producer.
Speaking of doom and gloom, it's quite dark over there, Mike. It'll look like doom and gloom.
It is. You see, when you don't have any way to cool your apartment apart from opening the windows and turning on a fan, you gotta do what you can to cut heat sources.
Peter is going to get the opening frag, though, here with the AWP. He was only sitting on 6 frags, I believe it was, on the previous map. That's just completely uncharacteristic for Peter, but he's already got 2 here, getting off to a good start on Vertigo. With that AWP, which you want to see him rolling along with. Sponge is going to get captured behind the pillar. Throws a smoke just to kind of evade the sight of GODSENT. You have Barton swinging around. He's going to spray him down with the Galil. Makes it a 4v4. Bomb is down here in that smoke, so it gives the Bad News Bears a chance to swing around and do a little more damage. Chezpuf, who was hot over on Inferno, continues that streak. Attention on Barton. Phelps trying to gain the ground. Smoke flies in from his teammates, so he's going to have to back off. Peter again with the op. Dirty Peek Pete trying to make it a 3-piece here as Phelps and Dumal, the last 2 standing. Swisher taking a lot of damage here, Mike. And now GODSENT is going to manage to get that bomb planted.
Bomb is down. He's been good. He gets one. There's the trade. Well done. Trading off his Swisher. Now it's all on to Dumao. Just dodges the bullet. Gets another. Dumao making noise, but didn't realize Shake had already gotten past the angle. Had already done the cross. Has going to be a defuse on. Shake's looking to see if he can get anything else out of this round. Any equipment, utility that can be picked up. But no. It'll be an upgrade to an AK, and that's going to be the round win for the Bad News Bears. They are on the board. The guns come out. They get on the board. But as we said before, there's a lot of money to spare for GODSENT. Them pockets run deep. And it won't be done after this round. It might take several. They're even going to invest into the AWP. There's a lot out with the Big Green. He's 6-1 to this point, so we'll see if the Big Green keeps that trend going. They'll be bringing the action.
Seems like we're cycling between Lotto and Taco on the op. At least
so far, it's been Lotto, except for Dustin. Yeah. Okay, what an entry for Peter. He was actually blinded, but he takes the quick shot with the off, and he takes Lotto out of play. Damage even done onto Phelps as well, so it's looking good early here for the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, if Peter can keep getting those early op frags to kind of kick things off for the Bad News Bears, they'll have an excellent CT side on their hands. GODSENT do lose that first player, as mentioned, 5v4 in favor of the Bad News Bears. GODSENT appear to be resetting. Janji. Back calls here on the A site. Right past him, that gives me advantage because Phelps had no idea Janji would be that close. He gets taken down. 2-man advantage. GODSENT has met back from these time and time again against both the Party Astronauts and the Bad News Bears. Can they find the answer?
He doesn't know players at Cement.
No, he doesn't.
He scoped in. He doesn't know the players at Cement. Oh, but does he get spotted out by the girder? I don't think Barton's seen the gun barrel. He should be now he certainly got him. Dumao took 2. It's back into a 2-on-2. No, another advantage might just be coming out of whack here for the Bad News Bears. This bomb's going to make its way over to being planted. A nade in could take Dumao out, and it does indeed, but the bomb goes down. So now Barton has the 1v2 and the bomb to play off of. That's all he needed from Dumao. The sacrifice was not in vain. Well, Barton's position is known. He's expecting them to come hunting him. But he's got to be a bit wary. Would have to make noise getting off of that. They're trying to get on. Is there a smoke for it? Shagzula does have the kit. Peek in. There's the first, but Spongy trades it. Gets the kit, gets the defuse. Actually, he'll just pull the full 10-second. There's a kit literally by his feet. Literally behind him. But in the moment of panic, he just wants to lock onto it and get this bomb defused.
And defuse it he will. Bad News Bears picking up a second round, and they're fighting back into this one a lot sooner than did on Inferno, which is great news. That said, like you mentioned, Mike, GODSENT have so much money. They were flush with cash, so they'll be able to get these AKs out across the board along with a great chunk of utility, almost full utility, just Taco, a little bit short of a flashbang and a Molotov. But yeah, it looks great for GODSENT. The Bad News Bears have to settle for an MP9 and a FAMAS on their side because the CP economy can be a lot more punishing, especially when you're losing bodies. But a couple of M4s and the option of another, especially with Peter clicking along. Trying to go for the quick play, our GODSENT this time to evade Peter, but Swisher's right there, flashbanged and all, getting a couple of headshots on Phelps and Lotto. Taco's boosted up on the sandbags here at ramp. Janji behind the smoke. He'll have an easy frag. He comes around the corner, but he doesn't. So Swisher goes down. Janji does get the trade, but not before Barton is able to come up and close the gap as well. So 3v2 in favor of the Bad News Bears. Peter's got some information, knows Dumao has come from the back halls, and he should be able to get the... No, misses the shot! How did he miss that? But Shake is there to get it anyway, Mike. Still, what?
Man got CS:GO'd. What's going on here? Someone replaced Pete's bullets with Nerf darts.
Yeah.
What was that? Barton. And a 1v3. Shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. But yeah, that one looked dead on. Shot to the head of Peter. Peter's out of play, so we don't have to worry about his shots hitting at least for another round. 50 seconds on the clock. Barton could just leave. Could just leave. He's wary of a flank, but a flank's not coming. He could just dip on out of here. Don't think he's going to, though. Gonna deal with the problem at his front as opposed to the unknown at his back, it seems. Or maybe he should have a shot.
Yeah, good closeout by Shake. Getting a 2K on the round, and the Bad News Bears tied up at 3-3. But again, another very expensive round on their CT side. So their economy is extremely precarious. Looking over at the GODSENT side, they might be able to scramble together a bit of a buy up here, and they will. They got an AK, 2 Galils, a Deagle, and a Tech 9. I'm not surprised to see them not shying away from forcing up because they've had so much success over these first 2 series with these types of buy-ups. Over on the Bad News Bears, it's kind of similar when you think about it. You've got the SMG and the MP9, the Moss, the AK, the M4, and the Op. And 15 damage happening there. Phelps catching Lotto as he was trying to peek and support.
Sometimes you just gotta punch some speed holes in your boys. when they're not moving fast enough. I just gotta motivate them. Bard. Again, Shiggs is gonna try and get the he's gonna force Shiggs to the back, and he's backing off because he is so blind. So blind. They know there's players in towards spawn. Janji swings it, one and done. But the one at the least gives him information. Scaffolding Swisher spots his toes, but Barton does him one better. Still, the damage is even to this point. The map is being bisected. Now pressure comes up the B stairs. They were still focused in towards mid. They were trying to players to chase. And Taco takes 2. Oh, on Peter. Peter can't finish off a very wounded Barton. Barton limps away with 1 point of health, and GODSENT limp away with the round advantage.
They did it again. I mean, they're so good on those force buys, our GODSENT. They get a 4th for themselves, and because the Bad News Bears continue to lose bodies round after round after round, here's the result. No buy-up possible into this round. They could force it. I think they're going to go for a half buy, which means that a couple of players are going to go below that 1K mark, but still, it's a little bit more firepower to give them a better chance. 3 Deagles and 2 USPSs. The only utility in sight is Janji's HE, or there was another smoke, but it was thrown immediately for ramp. Dumal gets 1, but Swisher pushes all the way up from mid towards T-Spawn to get Dumal and an upgrade to an M4. That's not too bad.
Sticking around in the spike towards ramp. Janji is going to take advantage of it. He's the only player still here, but he is punishing them. He's backed away. Another rifle down. This one won't be retrieved. Taco finds a little bit of presence here and towards mid. There's nobody on B, but they don't know that. They don't know that at all. Instead, they're still clearing the side hallway, and Janji, meanwhile, is tucked in behind cement. There are 2 Molotovs in the hands of GODSENT, and so that could really ruin his day. All he needs is 1 more. Got him, but no, he's gonna peek out. Still gets the kill. Sponges right up by the boxes. Takes 2. 1v2 now for Taco. 40 seconds to work with. Players defined, but he's out in the open, and he's laid down low. Bad News Bears tie up the scoreline here. It's 4-all.
That's a big round victory for the Bad News Bears in a round where they didn't really invest much. I mean, they had enough to absorb, a loss into the round. 3 Deagles made it work. It started with Swisher's push right through to mid into T-Spawn, and then he got that frag, picked up the M4, and everything started to roll in the Bad News Bears' favor. GODSENT give up a round that they should have won this time, so we're tied up at 4-4. Janji gonna go out towards this A site. Really want to take aggressive control of ramp, and why not? It's in the opening frag this time around, though. Swisher trying to spray through scaffolding, not going to connect with anything. Desperately throws a nade, a fadeaway nade. Only Phelps gets tagged for a little bit of damage. Down to 49. You see Peter here kind of peering around the edge of that smoke. It's good timing from Swisher, but he can't get the frag, Mike. Lotto gets the opener, and now they're going to walk into this A site with very little to deal with.
That's going to trigger a save here as well for the Bad News Bears. No sense throwing good money after bad. You're not really going to be, well, if these 3 survive, you might be able to buy here in this next round. It's going to be limited, though, for sure. It's not going to be ideal here for the Bad News Bears. So they will concede. This is very back and forth between these 2 sides. This round, though, will be good for GODSENT getting their legs under them if all 5 survive, which they seem to be doing. Still, it's interesting that this, in the first half at least, is a much more closely contested affair, especially considering GODSENT are starting here on the T side, a side on Vertigo that many teams do favor.
Yeah. No, for sure. T side has the advantage. One of the rare maps where they do have the advantage in Counter-Strike, because you get to these bomb sites so quickly, it's kind of hard to stop. And that's why I'm liking the way the Bad News Bears are playing on A, going for that aggressive ramp control and not really giving GODSENT the chance to gain that space. So, yeah, I like the way that Shake is calling this so far. Bad News Bears are right in it, and getting 4 or 5 rounds, even on your CT side, is already pretty good.
That was a bold peek from Peter. Yeah, diving off the steps. He's going to be punished for it, showing why maybe it was a bit too bold. Taco will catch him on the escape just over the edge of that smoke. So now Peter out of play, man advantage found. Side. Oh, the man's a fan of the dirty P, but there's such a thing as too dirty P.
That one was, like you said, a little too bold. Swisher is going to come through here. He's no slouch with that AWP off on quite a few maps. Lotto is going to take down John. That could trigger another save here, Mike, for the Bad News Bears, because, you know, they're pretty far away from the sites and they can control the Godsent. The economy is still not looking too great. And yes, it's going to be another save called here. Godsent are building up even more economy because for the second consecutive round, all 5 players still up and running. That said, they could go for a more aggressive hunt.
Yeah, I think they will. It makes complete sense now. You've got the cash behind you. You got at least a buy under you. Might as well go try and take some of these ops, some of these rifles out of there. Was as well. Good flashbang, better kill. There you go. Pusher out of play. Whoa, looking bad for Shake. He does stay off first, but there's more coming. G comboing with his leader, and at this point, maybe Godsent want to lay down a little bit. No, doesn't realize the player's out by the danger panel, and he'll lose his own life. So it's being a bit expensive for Godsent, actually, when it all comes out in the wash. But this should still be an eco for the Bad News Bears, and they're only taking 2 guns through into it.
Yeah, that's the risk when you go for that hunt, is you take the chance. But on T side, it makes more sense because you don't have to worry as much about having a large amount saved up in your bank account, so you can take those hunts more liberally. Bad News Bears are going to call a timeout here. Talk things over. Maybe want to discuss where they want to put these rifles, either stack them on one side or spread them out between each one. Probably makes sense to kind of spread them out. Maybe have Peter playing towards the ramp and Shake at the B site. See John G here. Focused and ready, Mike.
Geared in. Focused in. Laser beam. Ripping fat clouds. There's a grill up there? How have I never noticed that? Oh my goodness, that's my favorite Easter egg on Train, is the grill on top of ladder room. I didn't know there was a grill on the crane in Vertigo. I learn new things every day.
Now you know, and you'll have a grill to enjoy because Train is out of the map pool.
Yeah, I need a grill in my life. Need grill. Spam that in Twitch chat. Propane or coal?
The endless debate.
Some good old mesquite. Set up a smoker. They don't have a lot of mesquite in Canada, I don't guess.
Not really, no. Or at least not that I know of.
Yeah, it's a thing in the southwest. Lots of mesquite trees in Texas. That's how they smoke delicious things. Mesquite is just the best. It's gonna go down. Godsent have the sight, and this will likely be 2 guns being saved here for the Bad News Bears. The pistols can obviously hunt whatever they want. I'm surprised the rifles are even entering the same zip code, to be honest with you. But they're gonna. They're going for a triple boost. Like this. Get the gun under him. Well, that's the rifle now down. Spongy can't take both guns. So he's gonna bail with the AWP, and I don't know that either of his teammates can get there to get the rifle, so that might be a gun lost. Bit of a bummer for them.
Definitely. There's some more lives here. Swisher come out, and he will get taken down by Dumao, and Jonji's gonna just hightail it out of there. He wants to save that body armor, no reason to throw it away. So he goes all the way to T-spawn, throws his USP down for good measure, I guess, as he's gonna get another one. And Godsent pick up the 7th round for themselves. The Bad News Bears are likely going to be on a half buy here. I don't think they're going to want to fully invest. Nope, I take that back. They are going to fully invest into this round, and it's going to be 3 M4s, make it 4 M4s, and the AWP. The only thing is they won't have full utility, aside from Spongy and Swisher, who have the money to afford it.
Being mesquite slander in chat. That I cannot abide.
You gotta shut that down, Mike.
Gotta shut that down, man. Oh, through the smoke, John G. Check him PC. That is not normally. And then he gets dunked immediately by Phelps, so a little bit more normally. Nice kill though for John G. The instant trade swings things back in favor of GODSENT. Peter takes one, gets away. Molly chases him, but he's out. And a smoke down as well. There we go. The off. Making its presence felt. Pushed up by the crane, wants to go for a swing. It seems on the edge of this smoke. Playing flash a little bit. There we go. The timing is rough, but it works out for him. Swisher finds one. He's looking for more. Spots the head. Cement bags. There we go for Swisher. And this is going to be a round for the Bad News Bears. They close the gap just a bit more, and they keep 4 alive. So this time they should actually be able to build something behind it. The problem is GODSENT, well, they've been filling up their piggy bank. So maybe it's time to bring out the hammer and smash that, but there's a whole lot of quarters inside.
Yeah, definitely. GODSENT, I mean, we've got only 3 rounds left here in this first half of action, so I'm not sure they're going to have to worry about their money much at all. Even if they lose this one, we'll see. Bad News Bears do have a chance to at least punish them a little bit with a round victory here. And one thing I like about them, they are not backing down from this aggression. Play that I was looking for. There it is again. Sheikh Zula, the opening frag does get traded out by Dumao, but still, the Bad News Bears are implicated in the early goings every single round, and that's why they have these 5 rounds on the board. And could be 6 here. Phelps going to engage with John G. That's a good round. That's a good engagement to win by GODSENT. So they give themselves a man advantage, Mike.
They can group back into this A hit. 2 players are here. The Cavalry's on the way as well. Spongy seems to be joining them. GODSENT have been relatively straightforward once they go into these hits. Don't really tend to do a whole lot of rotating. 53 seconds though, they still could, but I don't think they're going to. They have Dumao watching the flank to make sure they're not getting flanked. And Spongy is sticking around on towards B just in case. 40 seconds on the clock. On the utility salvo, and here they go. Up the side hallway, multiple players. Swisher ready for them. Flash him. He's gonna get a kill as a result, but not the second. It is there. Peter needs to strike. He gets 1 withdraws. They're trying to chase down that kill. He's to get there. Here's Dumao hopping about. Tries to just pop off some shots. Will be planted, so at the very least. Peter doing off right now. What a shot for Pete. Otto has 3 positioned, and it comes down to the Oppers. It comes down to just the 2 AWPs. Problem is, Pete's gonna need to defuse. That bomb to play off is huge for Lato. Tap came through. There's the secondary tap. Scope in here. Lato trying to milk this clock. Oh, Peter. You gotta get up pretty early in the morning to catch Dirty Pete, and he's gonna take this one, put it in his back pocket, and stride on home.
That's excellent work by Peter, and the round is up. Looked on point for every single shot, and he baited Lotto into that peak after tapping on the bomb 3 times. Honestly, I thought Lotto for a second was going to wait it out, which would have been the right play, but he decides
You gotta
it's time
check,
to peek,
man.
and he had to check, yeah.
You gotta check. Pros don't fake, they say, but apparently that doesn't apply to Peter. Ooh, double ops up in this round. Shake's picking up the secondary. We talked about how he's a very capable secondary. Might be seeing it here. Peter wants some action. There's a boost up. There's a boost up, and he doesn't realize it yet. This, he's gonna get the kill. Now they gotta abandon it, knowing that the ops in play, but they do get that kill. And Phelps is actually gonna continue to press forward. Aggression here. And it'll pay off. Phelps making noise. Spongy does bring back a kill elsewhere, but this is A-okay as far as they're concerned. Peter trying to retake the angle. Trying to deal with Phelps. It should be Lotto. He's spotted. Lotto ducked his bullet, I think. Oh, a leg shot, but not a kill. And that should be the round.
Oh man, and Peter was moving a little too much on the second peak. His bullet hit the ground in front of his opponent as opposed to connecting on him, as Phelps gets the last one. So GODSENT do win this half with the 8 rounds. The question is it going to be as close as it can get for the Bad News Bears, and can they find a 7th? Their economy is extremely limited, so they're going to force up probably some SMGs and Deagles to make this work. Even a 5-7 coming up for Spongy. But yeah, oh boy, GODSENT still looking strong, but the Bad News Bears are coming on pretty well with Peter waking up at critical moments.
Oh, kill for Janji here with the SMG, but he's going to get traded immediately, and that was the one real upgraded gun here for them. As this last round of the half is looking dire indeed. The pistols can keep them at bay. Doesn't look likely. Shake Zula back behind the girder. He's overlooked. He's going to get this kill on Taco. Now that's a rifle found for them. And the presence is still on the other side of the map, so if they try and go in towards A, well, they're going to run into the stack. But look at this. Dumao's back in spawn. Dumao spotted one. He's playing the long con. He's going to get behind the A site, and he's going to take them out of play. They have no clue. They have no idea. He sees one. Doesn't see the second. He would like 2 kills out of this. Oh, there's the second spot. He's like, all right, how do I get this kill on the guy's cement? I kill him all and I force him out, and boom. That's going to push Swisher straight into Lato. And they've got the sight. Nicely played from Dumao. Love the intelligence. Also love the panic to not actually try and take that with the shots, but to throw the Molotov, get the kill on Pete, throw the Molotov, and secure the kill 100%. Very clever play from Dumao.
Absolutely. Still a chance here for the Bad News Bears to get back into this round with Spongy having the AK. He's going to try sticking the defusal, but no, Lato denies that. Then he gets Spongy as well, up 4K for him on the round. Well played for GODSENT, who do take the 9-6 lead heading to the second. That said, that's a pretty standard scoreline for T-side of Vertigo. So Bad News Bears, credit to them for hitting those 6 rounds, Mike.
Boom! I say it, and it is come to pass. We've got 1 decoy for the Bad News Bears, otherwise they're just going straight armor. Meanwhile, different philosophy. GODSENT bringing in a lot of utility here. Actually, 3 players supporting it. Phelps, I think, has dualies. Dualies. We're having exchanging towards mid as they're going fast. Swisher will eventually get caught, but it's a great exchange for the Bad News Bears. They've taken 3. Here's the dualies. They're going to need a kill for each gun to make this viable. Maybe more than that, even. Janji playing out by the elevator. Eventually be taken out of play, but it is answered back fairly quickly, and Peter is just gonna cruise on through this pistol round. There we go. The Bad News Bears finally win a pistol, their first of 4 so far.
There we go. One of the most important ones too.
What is this cat sticker sprayed back in spawn? You know, folks, yeah, well, you know, maybe he got kicked by a horse and it didn't heal quite right.
No, yeah.
Does look like it, doesn't it?
Something's wrong here.
I mean, you know, some people. Oh, it's clipping into his neck is what it is.
Well,
clipping into his neck. Oh, we're back. I was gonna say, based on the message I saw, we might need a little bit of time here, but it seems like everything's ready to go. So here we go.
Oh my goodness. Lato, Mike, he gets the Deagle frag, 5v4, and he upgrades to the Galil. At least Phelps gets the Galil off the ground. GODSENT are just so dangerous. It doesn't matter what they have in their hands. It could be a pistol bap, a force buy, or they're full-on buys, Mike. They're scary.
Zillion Deagles, man. One of the most terrifying things in the game of Counter-Strike.
It's true.
Bad News Bears, do you seem like they're going to settle in towards an A-ramp take? El Clasico? No. Okay, they're backing out. They're backing out. Never mind. Forget El Clasico. Go towards the much better play of a B-stairs take. Heck yeah. It's just Taco here. Does have support from, is that Barton over on the mid-berm? It is indeed, and Taco looks like he wants to get a little aggressive by the danger panel. They're coming his way. They're making their way up. They're looking for him. If he takes a peek, he might just get his head ripped clean off. And here it's going to come to util exec. Straight on in, so it's going to be up to Taco. Hold on to this. Lots of utility sailing up. Threatening him. There's the clear, but he gets one. That's all he needed. Going for more. That's not quite good enough. Has sounded the klaxon for his team. Reinforcements are on the way. It just doesn't matter because the reinforcements are getting slaughtered. Whoa, that's awkward.
No.
Out of the smoke it goes, and that works out. Phelps and Lotto pull off a cheeky play just as the bomb was going down. They loom out of the smoke like a ship coming out of the mist, and Shake's just gonna have to save on time.
Peter pulled up the bomb too quickly. That's the problem. And I didn't expect anyone to be there, and they were there indeed, and they sprayed him down and got that frag. GODSENT, the first team to hit double digits at 10-7 now in their favor, Mike. Interesting little stat here for you. Looking at the Cash Cups, the Bad News Bears have played in 7 of the 11 Cash Cups this season, and they made the grand final. They played in 9 of the Cash Cups. They made the grand final 7 times. That means for all the Cash Cups that have occurred this year, they've made it to the grand final 63.6% of the time. And if you only consider the ones they participated in, they've made it there 78% of the time.
That's a good way to make some cash.
Yes.
In cups. Look, man, you're an unside team. You got to make some moolah. Gotta earn it.
They're going to have merch soon, too.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Keep trying to get them to leak it to me early. I know Mad Cow's in this chat right now. Nate, leak, please, to me specifically. Money. Barton, speaking of which, making some money right now, ripping it out of their hands. From the pockets and into his own. Great damage with the MP9. Great money made, and an upgrade to an AK. Now, that's just good economics right there. Bomb's been lost in towards mid, so despite the fact that they have the B site, there is nothing that Spongy and Jonji can do with this. There's nothing. Oh, Spongy. Does connect the shot, but he loses his teammate. Tech 9 is pretty powerful, but not that powerful. And Lotto will see it through. GODSENT up to 11 rounds, a 4-round lead. It's the 7-11 round. Someone get me a Slurpee. They still have Slurpees? I haven't been in a 7-Eleven in a long time, man.
I don't have any here, so I don't know.
Yes? Alright, I've been informed. Yes? Good to know. The only, you know what? I'm not going to get into that story. The only 7-Eleven near me is not, a desirable. Phelps gonna get 2. He does get traded out by a pistol, so damage here, but Lotto back the angles gonna get better. Oof. He sees all 3. Jonji was hiding there, like, please don't let him see me. Please don't let me see me. And he saw him.
Lotto's on to 21 now. Look at that. 20 plus frags in both maps, regardless of what happens here. And GODSENT up to 12, up by 5. One thing to note, Mike, is the Bad News Bears are, of course, the defending champs in the Mythic Spring Cup. They defeated Pain Gaming last time 2-0. And that was by a score of 16-6 on Dust 2 and 16-10 on Inferno. But in order for them to contest, or at least defend that championship, they'll have to defeat GODSENT and come back here from this Vex.
And if GODSENT win here, then it's going to be an all-Brazilian grand final.
Yes.
The Brazilian invasion succeeds.
Speaking of which, Mike, by the way, Team 1 has defeated Pain on map number 1 by a score.
Oh, well, then that's interesting. That's going to be a fierce series, I would imagine. Pain Gaming's been hot lately. That's a great one.
Yes, it is.
Even exchange here to this point. 4 alive for both sides. Spongy. Yeah, it happened. Minute still on the clock, so there's plenty of time here. But the Bad News Bears are presumably a hit because they're running out of utility. They've only got 1 remaining smoke, a couple Molotovs, a couple flashes. Relatively similar situation over for the GODSENT side. They've got 2 smokes, no mollies, though. Well, nope, 1 molly. Never mind. Something to work with here. Still, a retake would not be ideal. Phelps up in this smoke. Peter kind of looking for it. Nope, spotted Phelps. Phelps gets it. Doesn't get away, though. Even exchange there, that actually does work out for the Bad News Bears. Deals with Phelps. Are they going to expect Lotto towards the side hallway? That's the problem. Mouse trying to distract. There's the swing. Lotto gets 1. He's looking for more. He needs some more. Squisher needs to clear him, but Lotto can escape here in time. And there we go. Lotto comes back back in, and it's all over. GODSENT trying to close it out here on Vertigo, and they're looking very good. Since the guns have come out here on the CT side, they have looked phenomenal. And at this point, it's kind of just a stroll to the finish. They're not far off from this, John.
Well, I mean, the Bad News Bears 1-1, and that was pistol round. That was it.
Yep.
GODSENT struck back immediately, and they just started rolling along, which is just, yeah, that was a dominant round victory as well. Bad News Bears back under their pistols, 3 Tech 9s, a Deagle, and a Peach to work with, but oh no, GODSENT momentum is in their favor. Dumao going to get a nade thrown here. Maybe a non-countable. No, he reads the spell. They got a crossfire set up here between Barton and Dumao. Dumao's doing all the damage. Taco takes down Spongy. Janji has a cheeky angle here. Oh, he doesn't hit the shot, though. He doesn't even fire a shot.
He was trying to play the patience game.
Yeah.
He thought it was going to come past, and Phelps just too wily for him.
Yeah.
Head on a swivel there for Phelps.
Mike, I have to tell you something, though.
Tell me it.
Well, I want you to actually guess. Which map do you think that Team 1 and Pain are playing right now?
Ancient?
Yes, they are.
Ancient? We did the wrong series.
It was picked by Team 1.
Could have gotten an Ancient game. Well, now I hope Team 1 wins so that they can pick it in the final.
Yeah, they might. I mean,
Like Ancient?
yes, they.
Well, i've got that up on stream, folks. Forget about us. No, I'm kidding. Continue to watch us.
Not yet.
Ignore Papa Flom. Ignore Sugar Dad Big Flom. Pays our bills out here. Focus on us. But if this game ends shortly, GODSENT is threatening to make it happen. Go watch me. Oh, there's the peek.
What a spot.
There's the kill from Taco. That was a tricky peek. It's the best peek in matchmaking. Like, where did you see me?
What?
Oh man, I make people so mad with that matchmaking. They're just fools who don't understand how maps work. There's the kill for Phelps. Looking rough for the Bad News Bears. I think I might actually. Our producer just said Mike's also silver. I genuinely might be right now. I've been playing with a group of 4 people and teaching them CS, and my rank dragged way down as a result of that. I wasn't good to begin with. Don't get me wrong, but I am worse now. Oh, there we go. Swisher making something happen here. Try and get the peek from the side hallway. Got teammates. But Swisher done and dusted. It's gonna be left to Shake and Peter. There are a lot of bodies here to defend for GODSENT, 3 of them to be exact. Phelps got over the top. He spotted 1. He sees the second as well. Just trying to spin to get this bomb down, get the bomb money. That's not gonna happen. Not today. Map point found for GODSENT. Bomb money denied for the Bad News Bears. They need 8 rounds in a row, and right now they don't have the cash to do it. They don't have anything going in their favor. They're gonna need to pull a ridiculous play here.
And this is what we were worried about on Vertigo for the Bad News Bears, and you even mentioned it before the half started. You know, T side is a little bit harder to coordinate on Vertigo, especially if you're not used to playing it, and that's exactly what's happening. They're unable to really deal with the defense of GODSENT, who have picked up, what is it now, 7 rounds?
Something like that.
Yeah, 7.
I would say. Phelps, nice shot. This is looking very good. Nice start. Phelps looking to shut it down right now. Now it's just on Shake with Spongy. Just Shake and Spongy make that just Spongy. He's got a MAC 10 against 5. Trying to give him some hope here, and it's not going to happen. Not even get started. 16-7 is the scoreline. GODSENT take 2 very strong map wins.